Hello everyone, I'm your digital host, Tatyana White. Welcome back to another episode of the 48 Recap, the one-stop shop to catch up on some of the top news stories of the week, including a manhunt for a suspect who shot a Scottsboro police officer, 3 Huntsville attorneys using AI during federal court cases, an update on the suspect who murdered a Florence woman earlier this year, an update on a 13-year-old who was murdered in Florence, details about a Limestone County child sex abuse case, and concerns from North Alabama businesses regarding a proposed wastewater plant. I hope you all are having a wonderful weekend so far. Let's get into this weekend's recap. We're still following breaking news out of Scottsboro, where multiple agencies are searching for a suspect who shot and injured a police officer this morning. Authorities tell us at approximately 12:49 a.m., officers responded to a domestic incident on Ruth Street. Authorities said a suspect fled the scene, prompting a pursuit from officers. Scottsboro police say the suspect crashed their car at the intersection of U.S. Highway 72 and County Park Road. Officers said the suspect began firing shots which hit an officer involved in the pursuit. Then the suspect fled on foot. The suspect has been identified as 29-year-old Daniel Victor McCarn. Authorities are still searching for McCarn, and they said he is considered to be armed and dangerous. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency described McCarn as last wearing a gray shirt, black shorts, and no shoes. U.S. Highway 72, South Broad Street, and County Park Road were closed during the search, but all of the roads have since reopened. However, authorities are still asking people to be cautious in that area and avoid the area if you can. Authorities are asking people to avoid the area at this time again, and if you have any information regarding McCarn's whereabouts, do not approach him, but call 911 immediately. According to Scottsboro police, the officer who was shot is being treated at Huntsville Hospital. The officer's injuries are non-life-threatening. Lieutenant Cody Durham said in his 12.5 years of being in law enforcement, he has never had to deal with something like this, and he is grateful for the help from the other agencies.
There's somebody I was speaking with earlier that said that they've been in law enforcement for nearly 40 years in this area. We've never dealt with this. So it's great to see the other agencies reaching out and offering their help. Some of the agencies that have been out, Madison County Sheriff's Office, we have a Huntsville officer helping us right now. These people deal with this quite often more than we do. However, for us at Scottsboro Police Department, it's something that we've never had to deal with. So it's great to get support from surrounding agencies that want to come out and help us find the guy that did this to our officer.
We will keep you all updated as more information comes in. And one of the top news stories earlier this week was out of Huntsville, where 3 attorneys are now required to tell all clients, judges, and coworkers they used AI during a federal court case. The ruling coming down from a federal judge reprimanding the 3 attorneys from the notable Huntsville law firm Butler Snow. 48's Nick Ballinger has more on this story.
A major ruling from a federal district judge is reprimanding 3 Huntsville attorneys from the notable firm Butler Snow. Court records state Matthew Reeves, William Cranford, and William Lunsford used AI when filing court documents. The 3 were representing former Commissioner of the Alabama Department of Corrections Jefferson Dunn in a civil lawsuit from an inmate who was allegedly stabbed while in prison. The plaintiff's attorney noticed issues with the trio's case sightings and ultimately filed a motion claiming it was AI.
AI is not always right. And you can assume sometimes that technology's got it all right.
Lunsford, a deputy attorney general from the state, has been paid over $40 million over the past 5 years representing the prison system. He filed a response to the judge saying it was Reeves who used the AI to draft citations, and he filed the motion without his input. Regardless, the judge sanctioned the trio, requiring them to inform all clients, opposing counsel, and judges of these findings. Attorney Mark McDaniel has known the attorneys for many years.
Not only are they really good attorneys, but they're really good people. But I believe that if the judge had seen anything sinister in their actions, the sanctions would have been much worse.
Butler Snow filed a response calling the events, quote, unacceptable. I reached out to Butler Snow multiple times for comment and was told by the head of marketing over the phone, quote, I can't take your call right now, thanks, end quote, before she hung up. All 3 have been removed from this case.
People make mistakes. Even the best of us, make mistakes, but I would be honored to try a case with them today.
Not only will this ruling be published publicly by the judge, she is also informing the State Bar Association.
On Wednesday, we learned shocking new details about the murder of a woman in Florence this year. Investigators say they don't think Logan Rogers knew Autumn Strickland before they met downtown one night in May. And now, after grand jury indictments came back, Logan Rogers has an upgraded charge of capital murder where the district attorney is seeking the death penalty. District Attorney Chris Connolly says they did not come to this decision lightly. They said the pure evil uncovered by the investigation led them to seek a possible death sentence here. Investigators have been unable to come up with any previous connection between Strickland and Rogers and believe this started when he asked her for a ride. Different surveillance videos around town showed them in a car together. They say it eventually ended when Rogers ran Strickland over with her own car. Rogers came back to the scene later to pick up her body and put it in his truck. Investigators think he tried to burn the body. Most shocking of all, they still can't pin down a motive.
Taken way too soon. But we're going to pursue justice for her and for her family. And we're never going to forget the gruesome nature of what happened to her and the impact it's had on her family, on her friends, and really on this community.
The DA says they still don't know why this happened and Rogers won't tell them about any kind of motive. No trial date has been set at this time, but on Friday, a judge set Logan Rogers' arraignment hearing for August 5th. Rogers was also appointed an additional attorney. That attorney is from Decatur and specializes in capital murder cases and has handled more than 24 death penalty charges. And we have another 48 update out of Lauderdale County. A teenager's indictment for murder gave one family some answers after the recent courthouse protest. On Tuesday, we learned Rylan Calvert was part of a robbery at Southern Oaks Apartments when the victim fatally shot him. We learned from officials that 13-year-old Rylan Calvert was talked into robbing a man in March by an older friend, 17-year-old Cameron Fanese. Cameron is now indicted for murder. That robbery victim shot and killed Calvert in self-defense. District Attorney Chris Connolly says that Fanese is being held legally responsible since he convinced Calvert to take part in the robbery. The man who shot Calvert is not being charged. Florence Police Chief Mike Holt told 48 News that has been a long and difficult investigation. While we now know more, there are still unanswered questions. We still don't know how the robbery was planned, what Rylan was armed with, and where Fanese was during the robbery. Holt says those answers may not even come out until trial.
Investigations of this magnitude do take time, and they don't allow us to release every single detail along the way. And this is done for a reason. One of those reasons is to protect the integrity of the investigation. What that means is to ensure that crime victims receive justice and that those accused of crimes are afforded due process.
For now, both the district attorney's office and the police department are building up a case to take to trial. And earlier today, a benefit softball tournament was held in Rylan Calvert's honor at the school he attended, Colbert Heights. The proceeds from the benefit tournament are going towards the Calvert family in an effort to help them pay for legal fees leading up to a trial. And in Limestone County, we uncovered details about a child sex crimes arrest in Limestone County where the victim was sexually abused by 3 women and drugs were involved. 48's Noah Cowell shares more on the court records detailed account of a 10-year-old being sexually abused.
Gayla Kyle was arrested last week, charged with something authorities say she did years ago. The 10-year-old boy who was preyed on, he's now 16 and just came forward recently. It's something experts say is very common for kids who went through something like this. According to court records, the victim's mother forced her son into a shower with Gayla Kyle and another woman, and then they sexually abused him. To make matters even worse, his mother sat outside of the shower during it all, and she was doing drugs.
That can sometimes be the focus for the caregiver instead of the child's safety. Your trusted adults are supposed to be trustworthy. They're supposed to be the ones that you go to if somebody is doing anything that they shouldn't, and instead they're the ones that are helping people to harm you.
Erica Hochberger with National Children's Advocacy Center says these cases are horrible, but not uncommon. She says family members are often involved, leading to kids coming forward years later.
Maybe they don't realize that the abuse is something that is not normal and healthy until, maybe they tell a friend and their friend says, oh no, that's not okay.
Limestone County prosecutor Kristen Clemens has prosecuted other sodomy cases in the past year, and she believes crimes against children are the worst in our society.
the trauma that these children can experience for the rest of their lives. It's not just a one-time event, it's something that they deal with forever. And so we take it very serious, and we want to make sure that we handle those cases appropriately.
Hochberger says this is a good example of how not just men are capable of sexually abusing children. Kyle will remain in jail until her case goes before the Limestone County grand jury. Reporting in Athens, Noah Cowell, 48 News, on your side.
And this week, we digged into the concerns from North Alabama businesses regarding a proposed wastewater plant that could create a stinky situation for residents and businesses along the Flint River. 48's Callie Neese shares more from TGL Adventures in Brownsboro.
A proposed wastewater treatment plant has both residents and business owners alike concerned about what may happen to their beloved Flint River.
I mean, we love this river. It's used daily.
According to the ADEM website, Integra Waters is applying to renew a permit to build a wastewater treatment plant on Winchester Road just south of County Lake Road. The application shows the proposed plant would dump liquid waste into the river. When I asked Integra Waters about it last week, they told me they would be closely monitored by ADEM to ensure the river stays clean. But when looking at the second page of the application, it says ADEM asked them to voluntarily consider pollution preventing practices. Jason Pauls owns TGL Adventures and says this plant would undoubtedly devastate the river.
It would wipe out our business. Who wants to kayak or swim into a river that's being millions of gallons of treated feces poured into it a day?
Pauls, like many others in the area, did not find out about this until it was almost too late. He told me he found out one day before ADEM stopped taking comments from citizens.
Well, I've sent an email just voicing my concerns, and I'm sure there's been thousands of others who have done the same thing. It's kind of picked up a lot of traction online and is spreading real quick, and people are just blown away. Nobody wants this on our river.
I reached out to Integra Waters again today, and they reassured me that all water that leaves their treatment facility is highly treated and disinfected and subject to strict state and federal environmental standards. Reporting in Brownsboro, Callie Neese, 48 News, on your side.
And coming up after the break, a look into the newly crowned Mrs. Alabama America 2025, Brianna Sistrunk, and her journey preparing to represent Alabama at the National Mrs. America pageant in August. A sneak peek into stories coming up in our evening newscast, giving a look at some great events happening in the Huntsville and surrounding areas. All that and more when we come back. Hello everyone and welcome back to the 48 Recap. I had the pleasure of sitting down with Brianna Sistrunk, who was recently crowned Mrs. Alabama America 2025. She is truly an inspiring woman. She's a wife, mother of 3, and a passionate advocate. Brianna is using her platform to raise awareness around pregnancy and infant loss and to encourage women that motherhood and ambition can beautifully coexist. She joined me in 48 Now to share more on her journey to winning Mrs. Alabama America and how she is preparing to compete for the national title of Mrs. America this August in Las Vegas. She shared why representing married women and mothers is near and dear to her heart, and she wants to remind other wives and mothers that no matter what, you can still pursue your dreams.
I would say again, if God put a dream or a goal in your heart, go after it. Don't put a cap on yourself. I feel like society tells us that once we get married or once we have a child, like that's it. But who adheres to societal norms? No one.
Yes.
I mean, we're not going to let that be our standard. We're better than that.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
And I just think that if that goal, this is what I would tell women too, if that goal is in your heart, if that dream is there, pursue it.
Yes.
Go after it. Set mini goals for yourself to work toward that bigger goal if need be. Don't stifle that dream, because 9 times out of 10, whatever that dream is that you have is going to in turn bless someone else.
Yes.
And you don't want to take away from what someone else could have gotten because you're afraid to pursue something.
Yes.
So I would say go after it.
And yes, Brianna is absolutely amazing, and her advocacy work is just beautiful, and we are cheering on Brianna every step of the way as she represents Alabama at the Mrs. America pageant in Vegas in a few weeks. And if you would like to follow her journey or support her platform, you can find the full interview and article on her story at WAFF.com under the Digital Shows tab. And a story to look out for coming up in our evening newscast. As mentioned at the beginning of the show, a search is still underway for 29-year-old Daniel Victor McCarn, who was accused of shooting and injuring a Scottsboro police officer earlier this morning. We will have updates and more details to come from 48's Faith Delp in our evening newscast. 48's Faith Delp is still on the scene and is waiting for more information as the search is still ongoing. And a wanted fugitive and convicted sex offender from New York was arrested in Athens on Thursday. Deputies said they observed a man riding a bike on the wrong side of the road on Ripley Road in Athens. When he was stopped, the individual refused to provide identification and gave a false name. A search of the provided identity that he did give came back with no results. As deputies attempted to determine the man's true identity, authorities said he fled on foot. Deputies were able to catch up to him and arrest him. The suspect was identified as 38-year-old Jairo Chavez. Authorities said he is from New York and is a convicted sex offender who was previously convicted of raping a juvenile. Chavez is wanted in New York for violating his parole conditions. In Lauderdale County, Chavez now faces multiple charges, including attempting to elude law enforcement, obstructing justice using a false identity, resisting arrest, and failure to register as a sex offender. During the investigation, authorities also found out that Chavez is a citizen of Mexico and he is now being placed on an ICE hold. Tune into our evening newscast to hear more details on these stories and many others. And if you're looking for a fun event to check out in the area this weekend, check out the 90s dance party happening at Low Mill Arts and Entertainment. This will be a fun night of reminiscing to 90s music and wardrobe. The event is tonight from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. You can purchase pre-sale tickets for $20 online, and you can purchase tickets for $25 at the door. Also this weekend, you can check out the Comic-Con High Convention. This is a 3-day convention that started yesterday, and it celebrates Japanese culture, gaming, anime, comics, TV shows, movies, and so much more. The festivities for today started at 11, but they will be going on until 1 a.m. The last day of the convention is tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. The convention will be at the BBC South Hall, and tickets are available for purchase online at comicconhigh.net/registration, or you can purchase tickets in person at the door. And tonight at 7 p.m. at the camp, you can check out the Love Jones Summer Bash Male Vocals Edition, which will be a fun, free R&B concert with some of the best male vocalists in Huntsville. And tomorrow is a chance to see Weird Al on his Bigger and Weirder 2025 tour at the Orion Amphitheater at 7:30 p.m. Tickets can be purchased at theorionhuntsville.com. And an event to keep a lookout for is the Veer Youth Music Camp. This camp is giving young people a place to grow, belong, and be inspired. I sat down with Reginald Robinson, one of the leaders behind this powerful initiative, and he shared more about this wonderful camp for the youth and young adults in our community and why he believes it is so important for him to host this music camp in our community.
Sometimes life gets really hard. And many of us are just looking for a space and opportunity to find some relief, find some hope, find some help. I believe that this event is an event that could provide an opportunity for you to find some relief, some help, some hope. I believe it's an event that can help to guide and steer or plant a seed in your son, your daughter, the youth of your community, the youth that you teach, in the right direction to help to just plant a seed. We can't do everything, right? But we definitely can partner to forge a village to raise up our children.
It was so great getting to sit down with Reginald and hear all the great things he's doing with this camp. And you can register your child for the Vera Youth Music Camp happening July 29th through August 1st. And it's open to youth and young adults ages 3 to 25. No singing requirements are expected. You don't have to have any singing experience. And it is all ending with a powerful concert that the whole community is invited to attend on August 1st. For more information and to register for the camp, visit Vera Youth Music Camp at eventbrite.com. And there are just some great events happening in the city this weekend in the surrounding area, so be sure to go out, have some fun, and check out some of these fun and amazing events in the area. And check out Huntsville.org's event tab and WeAreHuntsville.com's event calendar to check out more events happening. That's all I have today for the 48 recap. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to tune into 48's Weather Extra segments. Our meteorologists go live every Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. and every Saturday and Sunday at 8:15 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Our newest forecaster, Jada Russell, will join you all here in a few moments at 4:30 today for another edition of Weather Extra. This is just another way to give you all extra insights on the latest weather forecast. Make sure to download our 48 apps and follow us on our Facebook and YouTube channels so you don't miss any updates on the weather. And if you would like to stay connected with me throughout the week, please be sure to follow my Facebook page at Tatyana White, WAFF 48. Take care, everyone. I will see you all back here next Saturday. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend.